All right, so we're live, and I'm going to do a real quick spin for a prize. All the people that did reviews on Discord, I told them I was going to give away a 50K or the equivalent of. So I know probably everybody's not in here, but this is the spin the for that drawing. So let me see, where's my spin? There we go. If it's Thomas, that would be a trip, but it is. Ah, you're kidding! No way. No way. I did a test spin. I did a test spin earlier and it landed on him. And I thought, well, that's not fair now because what are the odds he hits twice in a row? So I removed him from the top and put him at the bottom. That's crazy. Right on. All right, Nine Thomas. Send me your PayPal or whatever you use for info. And I appreciate the reviews everybody put on Discord. That's crazy. Right on. That worked out great though. That's funny. Yeah, send me that, and you got $40 coming your way for a 50K, 80% discount whenever they come. 71% now. You can almost get it with the app, but I think you said you don't do those anyway, but you're not doing evals right now, so just use it for whatever. All right, good deal. Okay, so I was telling everybody that I started trading about a year and a half ago, and I don't remember how I came across you. I didn't know any traders at all, so there must have been something I typed in or something to get
Is it
on.
Reddit?
Could have been Reddit, but I don't know if I was there on that quick. Um, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I found his page, and I'm not going to scroll back a year and a half, but he was talking about making money, and he was showing information, and he had data, and at that point I really didn't know anything, and it was interesting. It was very interesting. There was detail. There was uh, I didn't know really what to expect or what I was supposed to be doing, but this led me to believe there was more to it than what I was thinking. Right? It's not just buying low and selling high. So that was the first kind of uh, person I ran into and connected with, and I asked him some questions. I was curious about level two and stuff like that. And the type of trading he does is more momentum, and he uses level two, and so I was interested in how I could maybe incorporate that into what I was doing. So that was one of the first conversations we had. But why don't you start out and just kind of tell us what got you into trading? I think everybody wants to know how people get started and when they realize that this is something they want to do.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, is my mic at a good volume? Should I move it closer or
No, you sound great.
further?
You sound great to me. Perfect.
Thank you. Uh, yeah, I started right around 2020 with the whole COVID thing. I was just chatting with a guy in the chat. I was playing Fortnite at the time. That's what I thought I was going to make it big on.
Oh, really?
And then I saw on the yeah, that's where the FN in the name comes from. So,
Okay. Right, right.
um, because I had this Twitter for Fortnite originally. But anyways, I saw the trading, all the news with the pandemic, all that stuff around March, April 2020, and that kind of got my eye on buying down airline stocks, cruise stocks, travel stuff that I thought would rebound after, the pandemic. And that was basically the gateway drug from that point on. Every day I was reading the news, going on YouTube, Reddit, and fast forward a few months, I downloaded Robinhood.
Yeah.
It's still 2020.
Right.
Um, got on Wall Street bets on Robinhood and
Right.
Reddit.
Yep.
Started chasing all the plays. I'm sure there's probably some guys in here who can relate to having seen all that. And then I did that for about a year, and then halfway through 2021, I went to school. I was doing it online, but I went back to in person. So I stopped trading that much for about 6 months. And the start of 2022, I decided I'd had some success. I felt like I knew what I was doing pretty good. So I took a gap and started full time. Uh, and I'm blessed to say it's been going very well since.
I would say,
So it's
yeah.
been just just now over 2 years, full time. Uh, and yeah, that's pretty much how I started.
But you started in 2020, right? So you got about, well, two and a half, 3 years, three and a half maybe altogether.
Yeah, like I think in spring this year it'll be exactly 4 years. So right now, 3.5. Yeah. The first 1.5, I spent tons of time, tons of hours reading stuff, but I didn't really have my strategy down. I didn't know where I was focusing fully.
Right.
Just getting a tons of exposure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you start with just paper trading? Did you start with small cash count? What did you use for capital to get going? Or did you paper trade first?
I didn't actually paper trade, but paper trading is a good place to start. I say if you want to familiarize with the platform, get to know your layouts, charts, because it's overwhelming at first. I remember downloading Thinkorswim for the first time,
Yes.
and it looked like a different language. Once you've got that down, if you can switch to real money, do it, even if it's very small, like $1 or $2 in risk per trade, few $100s in the account,
Right.
because those emotions that come with real money, the chance to win or lose real money, it's it's experience that is really good to build up. But I started, with my life savings. I was like probably 5 grand back when I was in 20, yeah, in 2020. I was 18, so I didn't have a lot, but put that in Robinhood. I did some options trading. It was pretty hard to miss back then. I was lucky starting when there were some crazy moves, and
Right.
I was able to build that up to about 25K over 2 years. So by the start of 2022, I was over PDT, and that was a big help. Obviously, switching over to small caps because taking tons of trades,
Yeah.
scalping, you don't want to be getting flagged.
Right. So
But yeah,
for that first part of that, then you were under the PDT and you were having to just do like a few trades a week.
yep. I was working at the time, so I wasn't able to be at the screens all day. And yeah, a couple trades a week, which really made me get selective about them. And that's why I would pour so much time into reading Reddit and researching stuff because I wanted to make those 1 or 2 trades count.
Sure. Do you remember the Bed Bath and Beyond spike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Okay.
remember the GME, the AMC. Before that it was SPACs. There was like a dog food SPAC. There was Skills, that sports betting one.
Oh
There
wow.
was uh, I was trying to chase all of those, but it was a really good experience. If I had been dumb and reckless, I could have lost a lot of money, but I was naturally conservative from the start
Yeah.
with my risk.
No, you were
So
smart.
that probably, yeah, smart enough to survive the first.
I've told this story
But
before, but I
yeah.
was watching the Bed Bath and Beyond, and I was on I don't know which FinTwit or something, and there were thousands of people talking about, man, the stock's gonna pump tomorrow. And I got in, and I had, I was on a cash account and over 25 grand, and I bought a good chunk. And the P&L went up over 10 grand, right? I'm watching it go up three, five,
Oh,
seven,
nice.
7, 9. I'm high fiving my kid at 10. I'm like, yeah, yeah. And I don't know what I was even thinking it was gonna do. I had no clue. And then it dropped to like 8, and then it dropped to 65, and then pumped up to 7. And I was like, oh shit, I better get out. And I got out and I made 7 grand, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love this. And they said, yeah, come back.
Nice.
They said, yeah, come back tomorrow. We're going to do it again. I was like, yeah, we're going to do it again tomorrow. And I lost it all.
Oh
within
no.
within a couple days, trying to just follow the same thing. I just bought a bunch of it. Was waiting for it to just go, to the moon. And on this day, it was a slight pump up and then a dump. And I watched it go way into negative, and I got scared and didn't know what to do. I just hit sell, and yeah. So yeah, very exciting. Saw a lot of potential in that, but realized I had a lot of work to do as well. So yeah, all right. So you had a couple of really good years since then. I wanted to kind of just look at like 2022. So you did $168,000 within literally a couple years of starting your date. You're definitely not. That's got to be the exception and not the rule. So I want to know what you think you might have done differently, or what you think. What did you do that the rest of us aren't doing? Were you just more patient? Did you? What do you attribute
Yeah.
some of your success to?
Yeah, first of all, let me clarify. Mason asked, I trade small caps and I trade just shares nowadays. So I don't trade options anymore. I had never traded futures. I've looked into futures a little bit. Um, I switched to small caps after trading options for about a year just because I saw people on Twitter doing it. I had some friends trading it, and they kind of gave me the guide into how to get started. So that's what I'm doing now in small caps. And to answer your question, Mark, I put a lot of hours in before I went full time. A lot. I Before I was really consistently profitable, I would focus more on tracking how much I was studying versus tracking my trading performance. I basically, I think there's a book on this. It's like the Law of 10,000 Hours or something.
Okay.
I haven't even read it, but I know that it's widely accepted. If you want to be great at something, it's going to be a lot of hours. If you're really smart, it might be less hours. If you're, not, it might take more. But so my goal in 2021 while I was in school and then 2022 when I was first going full time was to get as many hours trading, studying, and reviewing. And lucky for me being young, not having, family or responsibilities that much yet, I was able to put in 3, 4 hours every night studying, trade during the week, that type of stuff. So the biggest differentiator is just the raw hours that I've put in.
Right.
I couldn't estimate how many it is, but it's a lot. When I first started, I made a blank Discord server and I would just post a chart, an annotated chart, and then just go from the next one. And I did that for about a year and a half. I can scroll through that Discord server and just for 10 minutes straight, it will just scroll all the way to the top and refresh and scroll all the way to the top and refresh. Actually, I think Backtest Jess, she spoke earlier, late last year.
Yes.
She had something similar. She started a server and was just showing chart after chart after chart. I think that is a secret sauce that some of the successful people have. And it's kind of fun once you build up some progress. You can kind of see the work you've put in and you build on. Yeah, there you go.
Right. So I started doing the
So
same thing, study guide for my topics and going through and then putting notes and charts and information, what I saw, what I, yep, from that video.
exactly.
Yep. Cool. So you
If you
were
combine that with, go ahead.
no, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Combine that with
Yeah, I was just saying, you do exactly that and you just try to get 10, 15 charts in a night and you keep that up for a year, suddenly you've looked at, 3,000 charts and that's a big difference. Your brain starts to get trained to see the trades in real time. It's like sculpting yourself and you've just got to do it through raw repetition.
and that's kind of like developing the muscle memory for and pattern recognition for seeing the things that you know are important. Yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
So from 2022, then we get into 2023. It looks like you had just an amazing jump percentage wise. Uh, did you size up a
Mhm.
little bit? What was more trades or less trades and more precision?
Uh, Well, actually, less trades and more precision. Uh, and then I did add some size into 2023. Um, the small cap market, I think most of you guys in here trade futures. The small cap market is cyclical, so it has its hot periods and its slow periods. And here, sorry, one sec. Somebody's knocking. Just give me a sec.
Okay. Has anybody in here ever traded small caps before?
Sorry, I'm back. What
Okay.
was that?
No, I was just asking if anybody else in here had ever tried that. I had a little bit, but um, what you did was kind of scary to me. I remember talking about how much it could, the volatility, and how it could, you could hit buy and be $500 in the hole, and you've got to wait that
Right.
out.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I can handle that.
Yeah.
So yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
The thing about these are terrible companies. I was actually just looking at my statistics from 2022. About 40% of the tickers I traded have either gone through a reverse split, have been delisted, have been restructured. Like these companies are failing. So you have to be aware of that. The chance of getting stuck in an offering or getting halted down on is there, but you manage your risk the same way as you would any other strategy. I know with you guys in futures, you can get a lot of leverage pretty easily.
Uh-huh.
That would seem scary to a lot of people, but you know how to manage the risk. You know exactly how many ticks you have before you're out,
Right.
or etc. So it's same idea, but different environment there.
Someone was asking, they were wondering if you use like hotkeys to get in and out.
I personally don't,
Okay.
but I know a lot of people do. They get something called a stream deck. I don't know if you've heard of that or
No.
some of the guys in here have. Um, you can just program hotkeys. It's basically like a mini keyboard, but you can program the key to do exactly what you want, and it can perform multiple functions at once. So you
Stream
can get
Deck?
the key to buy and sell. Yeah,
Okay.
Stream Deck.
Interesting.
But it's obviously not a requirement. You can do it with your own keyboard. But if you want to have a button execute three or four things at once that executes the entire trade with from one press, people have programmed it to do that. I don't use hotkeys. I just click once or twice, but it's
Okay.
really, you know,
Yeah.
whatever you're comfortable with. I really don't think there's a big edge there.
Right. The edge is more in the, like you said, the study time that you put in, the experience you have. And I agree with what you said about getting in and, using a little bit of money. I tell people that that's kind of why the evals and the challenges that we do are sort of an in between. You've got a little bit of skin in
Right,
the game because
definitely.
you paid for that eval and you have a goal. You don't want to, you don't want to lose the account. So it's just enough. It's like it kind of bridges the gap. But you've never traded anything like that then? You've just been straight, a little bit of options and then straight into the small caps?
Yep. And I would actually. I think the evaluations and some of those prop accounts are great because correct me if I'm wrong, it costs you like maybe, depending on the price, 50 to $100 to open the account, and then you could
Yep.
lose some and be fine. But you do have money to lose,
Right.
and that's what matters when you're first starting.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, they give you
Right. Well,
$2,500 to play
not
with.
too much to lose.
Right.
Right, right.
So you said
You
that
want to
somebody,
have skin in the game, but not.
not a ton of
Go ahead.
skin. I think
Right.
what hurt me was when I had the PD2 rule over me and I had to keep 25 grand in the account, right? So when I would drop under
Mm-hmm.
2,500, I'd add 1,000, or when I drop under 25,000, I'd add 1,000 or 1,500, and keep going like that. But I always had that 25,000 under me. And then somebody said, "Well, come on over to futures. There's no PDT rule." So I was like, "Okay." And now
Right.
I didn't have that floor underneath me anymore. So before you know it, I was down to, 18,000, 13,000. Lost a lot of that. Ended up putting some towards a car as well. So I didn't lose it all, but I've spent at least that much in accounts and fees and things like that. So in a sense,
Right.
I understand the PDT rule, and it was a blessing at the time. But moving to futures, I think, and having options to use this prop money, it was good for me at the same time. So
Right.
right
Yeah, the
on.
the thing I always say is the one factor that will keep you from being a trader is not time, actually. I mean, now it might take you more time to become a professional trader if you're studying less or whatever your situation is. But if you go in and you lose all your money fast because you're unaware, if you blow up a couple accounts, and you never give yourself the chance to learn the right way, that's the one thing that kills people's careers before they even get the chance to
Right.
have a career.
Yep.
So now I know some people have paid more tuition than others. Like you said, you've lost a little. I lost a little. Other people, I'm sure, have too. As long as it didn't ruin your life and now you've figured out risk and a strategy and you're grinding,
Yep.
then you've got a chance.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I said the other day, we just have to outlast the learning curve, you know. Um, and
Right, exactly.
then from there, you build consistency. And yeah, not everybody's going to do it the same way. We're all going to take a different path. But, you know, I think we all
Right.
agree that it takes a lot of work. And, we're all finding that the psychology is as big as anything. I mean, honestly, I found that, doing what I'm doing now was not difficult to learn. 6 months or so, doing some studying, doing some back testing, and then getting in and trading a few different strategies. that are working. But where I fail is when I get in my feelings about stuff and either have a bad day and try to make it up or get overconfident and size up. I think I know what the market's going to do. Yeah, so the emotional game, the psychology is difficult. I mean, did you run into barriers with
Yep.
that? Did you
Uh,
were you ever at a point where it's like,
Definitely.
man, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this.
Absolutely. That for sure. I'm sure probably everybody can relate to that. And if they haven't, then there's a good chance they will at some point. Definitely when I was first starting full time, those first couple drawdowns, while I was profitable, but those first drawdowns I was experiencing, they make you question your existence.
Yes.
And as long as you've got the process and you know how to recover from it, you don't size up like crazy, you don't do stupid stuff, then you will end up being okay. But the emotional grind is uh, a massive part of it.
And you,
Teaches you a lot about yourself and
I,
discipline.
I've learned more than I wanted to know about myself through this, honestly. You've done some stuff on risk management. I saw we've got one of your articles in here, I think from Risk. Yeah, Risk Management by
Yep.
Kyce. And then I got another one over here. So you spent a lot of time on
Yeah.
risk
If you want to click
management.
on that, um, yeah.
Okay.
And then I also, if you go to my profile, uh, up in the left there posted, yeah, you should be able to click on that. This is what I just linked in the chat to Mason, guys, and this is I've posted probably like 10-ish articles, and each one's about a separate topic. So there, I think that one right up there was about my risk management and drawdown strategy,
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Right.
and I've made these articles applicable to any strategy. So for futures, that type of stuff. Like that risk management one, I talk about having a max loss that you're
Right.
done for the day and how to reasonably calculate that, how I recover from drawdown. I'll cut my
Okay.
size in half and take 2 days or 4 days. So it's stuff like that, and there's a different topic for each one. So if you guys are interested in
Definitely.
reading more about,
Yeah.
whatever topic, I talk about my study habits, how I like try to train my brain to see the charts better through repetition. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. So that
Right.
link I put in the chat for any of you guys interested.
I like how you put how much you made in the month. That's very catchy. That's like, oh, I want to read that, no doubt.
Oh yeah, you have to do the
That is
clickbait
good.
title a little
So is
bit
there some
because
Fortnite stuff back here?
I found there's not. I deleted any trace of it.
Okay. Is this
I
your
think at the
setup?
very bottom there's the old Wall Street
Okay.
Bets post, but that's it. And that was actually my buddy's setup that
Oh
I just
wow,
posted for him.
that's clean
You
though.
know, Thiz on Twitter?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, okay, he's just another small cap trader, but yeah,
That's your
he
setup.
it's a
Wow,
pretty cool setup.
that is sweet. I don't know what I wish I could see some
Yeah, it is.
charts on there, but uh, oh, the post has been removed.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Nice. So
yeah.
you said that when you're trying to get some back, you go half size for like 2 to 4 days. So your goal is just to get back what you lost and do it slowly and responsibly. Is that it?
Right. And that's a good rule of thumb for when you're, maybe starting and not quite as experienced as you want to be. I still stick with that mainly now. Like
Okay.
I said, if you blow up your account, that's your chance at your career. So always better to take it. You should recover a drawdown slower than the time it took you to create it is a pretty basic rule to follow by. So if
See,
I lose $1,000, I'll
that
s- I'll
that
s- I'll
go
slow
ahead.
down to half size and make it back 500 over 2 days. And then if I lose $1,000, and then I lose 500, I'll size down again. And if it takes me the next 3 or 4 days to make it back, I'm fine with that. If I have a strategy with a proven edge, don't let 2 or 3 losses that you sized up on ruin a month or more of progress. So, yeah.
You're speaking to my heart right here. I would take half a day to lose something, and then I want to get it back in 10 minutes because I'm pissed off and I want to feel better. So yeah,
Right.
yep,
And
yep,
that's
yep,
that's the feeling. That's what will keep you from being, that will hold you back long term, which is the natural feeling for all of us,
yep.
which is
That's
why
good.
trading is so hard.
Yep, it is hard. It's the hardest easy thing I've ever done. You know, You're just sitting at a computer, you're just pushing some buttons and reading some stuff. That part of it's easy, but everything else that's wrapped up into it makes it just really, really challenging. So awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
Does anybody
yeah,
have any questions or anything um, while you got him in here?
yeah, guys,
Yeah,
feel free to
I
go
was
ahead.
just a curious question. Since you're trading small caps, and like you said, small caps are companies that are struggling. Do you find yourself being a short seller most of the time?
I'm actually not. That's a good question though. The majority of small cap traders are short sellers because the edge is geared that way. Those companies are declining over the long term. I'm a bit of a contrarian in that niche. I'm a long only. So now these companies have to pump if they're going to raise money. So yeah, Trade the Matrix, that's he's got some great articles on small caps too and other stuff.
This is one of the
But
things.
yeah, Mason.
Yeah, go ahead. This is one of the
Yeah,
things you turned
Mason.
me on to that I wrote that I was back reading, so I remember that. But
Yeah,
okay,
Trade the Matrix is a great guy for psychology stuff.
go ahead and
But yeah, Mason, these companies have to pump to raise money, which means they'll have their 50%, 100%, sometimes they'll go 500%. I'm just trying to catch the upswing, knowing that it's going to come down. And that's why I'm a scalper. My trades are a few minutes because if I hold for very long, odds are against me. Short sellers are the opposite. They're holding for longer periods. I'm actually long only, so I
yeah, I
don't
remember.
short sell.
I think you've got
Interesting.
that. Do you have that in your
Very interesting.
profile?
Thank you.
Did you have that in your
Yeah, man.
profile somewhere? Long only or something?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
think
right
it is
there.
here.
Long only. Yep. I remember seeing that. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Got my pronouns.
Dip soaker. Awesome. All right. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know if anybody else has anything else. We're glad you stopped by. Glad to have you in the group. Every once in a while, we get somebody that asks a question or something, and I try to like tag you in on it because I think it's something you might be able to help with if it's not
Yeah.
futures or if it's related to something more along your lines. But we over here we've had some programming that tells us that people who do retail trading, that's what it's called, indicator based DOMs, level twos, things like that, are can't make money. So and I knew when
Hmm.
I heard that I was like, well, I know this guy, and so I always
Yeah.
took that with a grain of salt. And I'm happy to be able to point to you and some others and say, you know what, don't discount anything. That's why we look at everything in here. I mean, we no stone unturned. Try to find what works, different combinations of things, and find some edge. I remember, I think that
Yeah.
maybe from you is where I first started hearing about edge too. You were writing about edge and what edge was, and
Yeah. A couple of my
um,
old posts, I detail exactly how to break down edge and find it. Uh,
okay,
to what you were saying, if there is liquidity in the market across crypto, futures, stocks, small caps, options, if there is volume exchanging hands, then there is almost guaranteed some sort of edge occurring there. Because why else would there be something exchanging hands? Those people are trading for a reason. So
right,
if you see somebody trading volume somewhere, no matter how they're doing it, there's a high chance there's edge there. So don't let anybody tell you there's not edge in a certain
right,
area.
right.
That's how
Well,
I look at it.
we're on the hunt for volatility and volume every day, so for sure.
Hmm.
Anybody else?
Right. Yeah.
Anybody else have anything for Kyce? Do you have anything for us? Any tips? Anything else that you think might be beneficial?
Yeah, sure. Honestly, first of all, yeah, thanks for having me on here. And if you guys want to learn more, that Reddit link there's probably 10 plus hours, I'd say 10-ish hours of reading you can put in there. And I've really put some good stuff in there. So if you want to just bookmark that, guys, for yourself, if you don't, that's fine. If you're interested in it, whatever. But I've put some good stuff that's applicable for all strategies, futures included. Um,
Oh,
so if
awesome.
you really want to learn about a topic in depth, from my perspective on it, then that's the place to go. My
Uh,
Twitter feed, I do more just posting P&L and farming impressions, but the Reddit is where I really put the good stuff. So if any of you guys in here, the link is in that chat, and
Yeah,
That's where you'll find the educational stuff. But yeah,
I'm going to put it in the description of the YouTube video as well. That way, if anybody's watching the YouTube video and you want the link, maybe you could find it from his name, but I'll drop the link in the description also. Yeah, man, awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sure
And
you're going to do
actually,
some reading.
I did do a podcast a while back, and I can drop a link for that. It's about an hour long if anybody wants to watch that.
Yeah, put it,
Please
drop it
do.
right here. I'll put that in
Absolutely.
the, I'll put that in the YouTube link also. Drop it here in the
And this
chat.
podcast is similar to what we just talked about. It's more of like my story, my journey,
Right.
that type of stuff. But
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, market's cool. I think we first chatted, what was that? Like late summer of
September.
2022, like right
Yes.
after
September.
yeah.
I started it in July. So yeah, solid year and a
And you've
half
been
now.
doing, how long have you been in futures now?
Since about
When did you switch over?
since about the beginning of the year, but I wasted a few months on some different ideas and finally got into ICT, trading ICT and some other stuff in June. And since then, I mean, it's just amazing. So, um, headed in the right direction. Long way to go, but feel like I'm headed in the right direction. I see light at the end of the tunnel if I can just manage my emotions.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, I
I
will
uh,
keep you
I wish you
posted.
the best, and I'm sure we'll be keeping up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I I put that link to that podcast there.
Trader
You can
interview
put
with
that wherever you want.
Kyce. And you said that's a podcast. Who did you do? Did you go on with somebody or, oh, dip
Yeah, a
traders?
guy named Dip Traders on Twitter. He's BMac Trades, I think. Or oh yeah, here. Dip Traders. He asked me to come on. You guys might want to watch that in 1.5x speed,
Okay.
because I talk a little bit slow, just from my experience. That sounds better. But yeah,
Okay.
just
All right.
background stuff.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
we're interested in all that stuff, so the more the merrier. All right, man. I
definitely.
appreciate you coming on and talking to us, and I will catch up with you on the outside and keep up with your progress.
Thanks, Mark. You too. You guys have a good rest of your day, and wish you the best.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Yeah, see ya.